right, to the fast track we go. Daytona this weekend. The Coke Zero Sugar 400. They got one spot left for NASCAR for the grid for the weekend for the playoffs. Xfinity Series tonight. A little racing reporter, buddy Matt Kaulig, kind of check in with Kaulig Racing. Bill Wills, Mike Snyder alongside. Matt, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. How are you, man?
We're good. Mike and I were looking at the lineup. First Xfinity Series. What you got going tonight?
Well, we're racing tonight at 7:30 in Daytona. We've got three cars in the field. We've got A.J. Allmendinger and Justin Haley and Jeb Burton. So, Kaulig Racing, our guys have been pretty hot at super speedways lately. We've won 5 of the last 7 super speedway races, so that's Talladega and Daytona, including one win earlier this year at Talladega. Jeb Burton got his first career win at Talladega. So couldn't be more excited. Justin Haley's won there 3 times, and so we're going to see what we can do tonight.
Well, you have been cooking, Matt, and even now as you get into the Cup Series, that had to be a thrill to get that first Cup win.
Thrill is an understatement. It was a really surreal experience. I grew up in Cincinnati, and then I went to high school in Chicago. So every year we used to go to the Indy 500. So as a kid growing up, got to experience that whole Indy. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Indy, to watch a race, but I mean, it's hallowed ground. I mean, there's no better place in the world really to watch a race, or nothing speaks to history of racing and everything else. They've been doing it for over 100 years. But, used to go there as a kid, being down even on the track and taking track tours and being up in the suites, and then just watching the whole pageantry of what goes on at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And then for us to actually win, that race, a couple Sundays ago, and then be part of all the pageantry, kissing the bricks, and being up on the podium, and just going through that whole thing was just a really special experience, and really cool for our race team, and just showing how far we've come. We're in our 6th year in NASCAR, and just to get we're the fastest team really ever to win a Cup race in just our 7th start. So we only took 7 starts to get a win in the Cup Series against all these big guys that have been doing this thing for 50 years.
That is very cool, and I wanted to follow up with that, Matt. And I've spoken with you in the past, and I mean, in your history, I'm a former quarterback at Akron, and you're an entrepreneur, you're a philanthropist, you're a leader, but you get into this business, and NASCAR. You're not the prototypical NASCAR owner, are you?
I'm definitely not. We run it as we started doing it as leaf filter. You guys know I own leaf filter gutter protection. Here in Hudson, Ohio, and now we've expanded. We've expanded all over the country and Canada. I think we have 130 offices now in the U.S. and Canada. But got into NASCAR just as a sponsor with Leaf Filter, and that was 8 years ago. So did that for a couple of years with another team, and we thought it was great. I mean, we were getting a lot of legs from it as far as marketing and generating a bunch of business, especially down south, or as we were expanding south. And then we were spending so much money and being entrepreneurial, looking at some of the owners in the garage and getting to know the executives at NASCAR and, standing around going, hey, I think I could do this better than these guys. And so we actually started our own team, didn't buy a team, just started one from scratch. Back 6 years ago, and just started as a single car team with the 11 car in the Xfinity Series, and then eventually a couple years later started running a second car part time. Now we have 3 full-time cars in the Xfinity Series, and then we run a part-time car in the Cup Series. We'll run Kaz Gralla is our driver. We're running Saturday night in the Cup Series, so I think this will be our 7th or 8th Cup Series start this year. So,
Matt Kaulig and Kaulig Racing with us. Let me get you out here on that point. In following NASCAR, and I've been to Daytona a few times, sports is individual, yet it's a team. And you talk about football and everything else, cross country and all, but in a strange way, I think with NASCAR, and you're an owner, you can tell me this, yeah, you want to win, but you're also happy for everybody else because you want to continue to grow the sport and learn from everyone. It really is. All those teams are together, and they know only one car is going to win, one team's going to win, but they all kind of are happy for each other. Is that fair to say?
Well, in a fairy tale world, yes, that's fair to say. If those guys want to win, we'll talk to our 3 drivers tonight. I think we have a meeting at 5:30, so a couple hours before the race. And you do have to work together, especially at these super speedways.
Sure.
But it's really hard to get these drivers, and we've done a really good job. I mean, I think we've been touted as one of the teams that, people say, like, wow, your guys seem genuinely happy for each other. But that is definitely not the norm in these teams. If you guys think about, like, football and baseball and basketball, I mean, when your teammate does well, I mean, you're generally happy because that means you do well. These guys are also out there individually. You're on a team because it's a collective thing. You're
right.
on a team because you share resources,
right?
As far as who's putting together the cars and everything else. But you're also an individual, that wants to win, and that's why you're in the car. I mean, you're going 200 miles per hour. You're kind of putting your life on the line, going out there, and you're young and you're hungry and you want to make money, and so. You definitely are happy for your teammates, and it's better if your teammate wins as opposed to somebody on another team. But don't get me wrong; these guys are really in it for themselves, and they want to win themselves for their team, their individual car team.
Sure.
And so it is definitely a balance as an owner to keep those guys as teammates, but also say, hey, as individuals, you guys go get it done yourself.
One spot remains up for grabs for the NASCAR Cup Series playoff for the grid, the Daytona Coke Zero Sugar 400 this weekend, and tonight the Xfinity Series. Matt Kaulig and Kaulig Racing report a little Friday morning NASCAR and race talk this morning. Matt, good luck. Hope it all works out and everybody stays safe, and we have some good races tonight and tomorrow, pal. Thanks much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Matt.